your two biggest obstacles: shame and fear. Because selling someone past when they are comfortable is unnatural, okay? The reason sales pays so well is because no one wants to do it. At the start, you're going to feel shameful calling 100 people a day and asking them for money. That is not a natural human instinct. And you're going to feel fear because you're feeling the fear of rejection, the fear of humiliation, the fear of being a social violator, the fear of trying to impose your will on someone who is higher rank than you in society. And those are the two biggest obstacles to closing deals. And that's stuff that you have to get over if you want to be successful. And like I said, the less shame and fear you have, the better salesman you be. That's why sociopaths, guys who don't have normal human brains, like a Jordan Belfort, are the best salesmen in the world, because they literally don't have any shame. They don't care, right? A client could catch them on deliberately lying to them, and all they're going to think of is, okay, what do I have to do to get them back to a position where they're going to buy? They don't have that shame of like, I'm a bad person, right? They don't feel that in the same way that normal people do. However, if you are going to operate in sales, you do have to mitigate these things. You have to get over your fear, and you have to just say, look, I'm not going to be ashamed of being a salesman. Without me selling, our company would go out of business, and I have to make these 100 calls, and I have to push people past their comfort zone. As long as I'm being ethical about it, this is what I have to do to get paid, and this is what my company needs from me to get paid, and I'm providing for all the support staff. I'm providing jobs for the support staff, and this is how the world operates, and I need to do this. Okay, that's okay as long as you are within an ethical framework. But you do have to mitigate shame and fear as much as possible within ethical boundaries. Next point, your mood is crucial. You can't sell in a bad mood, all right? All these audios and videos that I do, I realize I have to do in the morning when I'm in peak energy, and I can maybe do one or two of these a day, especially these longer ones, because if I don't do it, you're going to hear that I'm kind of like low energy, and the video is not going to have the same punch, or the audio is not going to have the same punch as it would. It's the same with a cold call. It seeps into your conversation no matter how hard you try and control it. So your mood needs to be protected like it's a fort, because it's your greatest asset. The best salesmen outside of the sociopaths are guys who are naturally happy, because they're just happy on the phone. The clients can hear it. They have nice, high, buoyant energy. If you're calling up someone like, hey, this is John. I just wanted to see if you're interested in maybe buying some insurance. The guy's already decided that he's not going to buy from you. He's just gonna be like, oh, just get this guy off the phone. He's terrible, But when you call someone up, hey John, it's Will. How's it going? I just wanted to. I'm not sure if you're familiar with our company, but I wanted to let you know. Okay, that way you've taken his attention, and he's dealing with someone who's in a good mood. And a lot of the time, clients would just accept my call because they just wanted to talk to me, because I would just cheer them up, right? Just talking to me for 10, 15 minutes would put them in a better mood than they were in before. Think about it. You're calling someone, a lot of the time your clients are going to work for a big corporation. Most people don't like their jobs, right? So when they're talking to you, it's not like they're talking to a friend. So it's not a personal call, but it is like kind of like that, because you make them feel good, right? Talking to you might be one of the high points in their day, because you're talking to them like a friend, and you're in a good mood, and they get off the phone, and it's like, that was one of the few pleasant conversations that they had all day. So it's very important. You can't sell very well when you're unhappy. That means get proper sleep, exercise, diet, use the right supplements. Whenever I'm using caffeine and Phenibut, my sales numbers would triple. That's how powerful it would be. Next point, you don't matter. Okay, we're still in the keys to the game section here. You don't matter. Your potential clients don't give a fuck about you. They only care about the value you bring to the table. That means don't bother talking about yourself. Focus on them. Focus on solving their problems. Focusing on adding value to the conversation by making them feel good about themselves. Like, oh, your kid won his hockey game. That's great. You must be really happy and proud of them. Like, you're not talking about what you did last night, right? they don't care about that. People care about themselves, and everyone lives very much in their own world. Let me give you an example of my business now. Look at my website, right? The reason I get, 150,000 visitors a month is I don't talk about myself at all, right? The only time I talk about myself is when it can benefit you. I can say, okay, I was in the same position and this is how I made it happen, right? Every single article, audio, video I have is solving one of your problems, right? It's adding value to your life. How to sell, how to get laid, how to get fit. There is no philosophical ramblings. There's no talking about my feelings and my problems, because you guys don't give a fuck about that. And why would you? Why would you search out my information to hear me narcissistically jabber on about my feelings and all this shit? Because it doesn't fucking matter, right? This is where so many bloggers make mistakes. They assume that people are going to care about them. In business, you are only as good as the value you bring. I try and bring as much possible value to every possible article, every audio, every video, and every book that I write. And I try and have you go in and be blown away by the value of every single thing that you read from me. I want you to go in and sounding like, oh, this sounds interesting, and be blown away by the amount of value that I've added to your life, right? As long as you're offering a ton of value, you are always going to be in business. You're always going to make money. The second you stop offering value, you're going to go broke. If I stopped offering you guys value today and I started putting out shitty products and shitty articles, I'd be gone, right? I mean, eventually some guy, like I've got relationships with some guys and they do like me as a person and care about, but that happens after all the value that you've added, okay? Don't get caught up on yourself. Get caught up on the results that you want and focus on helping others and solving their problems, and you will get what you want out of business and out of life, actually. It's very, very important to put your ego to the side. Last point, keys to the game, be ethical. This is easier said than done, okay? When you're broke and you have your sales manager breathing down your neck to hit your targets and you're on a performance improvement plan and you know that you need that job to pay your rent, boy, it's going to be tough to keep your ethics at that point, right? You're going to do whatever you need to do to close that deal. But at the end of the day, you have to look yourself in the mirror. So jamming someone into the wrong product is shitty and unethical, and you won't feel good about yourself. And your conscience is always monitoring you, whether you realize it or not. Now, I'm not going to preach to you all high and mighty and say I'm the most ethical person in the world. And I'm not going to moralize to you. I'm just going to speak to you from your own position of happiness, okay? To be happy, you can't be a scumbag. Do you think the guy who cheats in business and beats his wife and a Jordan Belfort was happy? Maybe at some points when he's high on drugs. But why did he have to take drugs every single day, right? Why was the guy doing cocaine and Quaaludes and going to prostitutes all the time? Because he's literally not happy just being himself in his human body, just in his normal life. He has to take drugs to mask all the pain from ripping off people for hundreds of millions of dollars. All the shame of being that bad person. You can try and compartmentalize that, but at the end of the day, not going to feel good about yourself, right? You have to be able to hold some kind of an ethical line to be able to look yourself in the mirror and be able to sleep well at night. So what I'm saying is, look, don't be a scumbag. That's as simple as it can get. It's no matter how much money you have, I don't care what anyone says. It's very hard to enjoy life if you don't have a positive self-image. And there's two types of self-image. There's the self-image of success and there's the self-image of being a decent human being. Okay? And a lot of guys get caught up in just success. Just success, yes, you will have a positive self-image in that light, but there's going to be a nagging feeling of I'm just a worthless piece of shit is also going to be there because you're not being a good person. You need both. You need to have the feeling of success, but you also need to feel like you're a decent guy, all right? Now, I'm not walking around, I'm not Mother Teresa, I'm not trying to pretend that what I do on my website is this magical, super ethical Christian dream, but like I do feel like I'm I'm honest with you guys, and I do feel really, really good when I get an email from someone saying that I helped them or I made them feel better. It is having that in your life is really, really important for your peace of mind. So be as ethical as you can, right? If it's your survival on the line and it's paying rent and not going broke, okay, do what you have to do. But once you get past that survival mode, do not get in the habit of being unethical to get your goals across the line. If you need to hit your numbers, just work a bit harder than everyone else. Do an extra 30 calls a day so that you can do it from a perspective of being ethical. But really, 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 the important thing is the way you can be the most ethical is have your own business, right? When you have your own business, you control the ethics, and your sales manager is not going to tell you to lie to your clients and do all kinds of shit like that, right? For RLD, for my business, I can be straight up with every single guy. I can manage their expectations. I can tell some guys not to buy my products because it's not going to work for them. Like if you're a 60-year-old man and you're overweight, do not buy my book, How to Get Laid on Tinder, because you're not going to get laid whatsoever. I could never say that if I was working for another company, because my sales manager would just be telling me to hammer it down everyone's throat, right? So that's the keys to the game.